Welcome back to Studio E, Fantasy Football Frenzy. Look for us on YouTube at Triple F Ellis, that's Fantasy Football Fellas, for our videos. And also look for Scott Michaels on Twitter, Fan Frenzy on Twitter. So, this week what we'd like to do is pull together all of the information from last week, review how we did with that, all in one segment, and then the other segments will simply be what's good for this week.
So if you don't care how bad I was last week, you can just push stop.
Yeah.
Go right to, exactly. I recommend it too.
So, at least for his. But you might want to hear how well I did. Anyway,
you might.
So let's kick that in right now. Scott,
here we go.
Forecasting from last week out of the way.
My bench of the week, Jamal Charles, ladies and gentlemen, after having like 5 points in 3 games before that. He goes off, tied for 8th with 16 points. Badass.
Wow.
Solid call, strike 1.
Nice.
Mikel LaShore as my badass of the week, tied for 32nd with 4 points, strike 2.
Oof.
Here's my one sort of decent call. I said Demaryius Thomas, who was ranked in the top 10, would finish outside the top 10. He was my bust, but you still play him. Right. He finished 12th. He was outside the top 10, so, you know, good call, I guess, on my part. He, in our strictest definition of the word, he was a bust.
Yes. So.
But still finished 12th.
That's right.
That's like a half strike for me. And then I said, start your Dolphins against the, who were they playing? They were playing the Titans.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Holy cow, it was like 37-3.
Yeah.
Daniel Thomas had 5 points. Tannehill had 2 points.
Wow.
Strikes 3 and 4. Brutal calls by me last week for the second week in a row. I just want one quick thing here. If you want really bold calls that don't work out, listen to me. Yeah. If you want some bold calls, some not so bold calls, but solid calls, listen to you, man. I'm going to do better this week, I swear, though. I swear.
Let's look for that.
Tell me.
So I will go ahead and review mine really quick. Start off with the bust. Bust of the year so far, Mr. Michael Turner.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Solid call right here.
You know what I mean? It was crazy. He was up against New Orleans' worst ranked defense against running backs. And he ended up with 13 carries for 15 yards.
Solid.
Actually had a pass thrown his way, didn't catch that. Anyway, so
like a 1.08 for
Mr.
Nice.
Turner there. Woo! Okay, next one, bench. I said standout tight end Owen Daniels, bench him because he was a game time decision. We'll let that one go. He didn't even play.
Solid call.
Solid call. And actually, but what's funny, we say that, but I know some people that started him because they thought he was going to play.
They were hoping.
You
cannot win
against all hope.
You cannot win with hope, people.
No.
Do your research.
Info. Key. And I also said that C.J. Spiller was a bench. That was a bad call. He actually ended up with 13 points. What was that? That made him 14th overall. More of a bust than a bench.
You could have had people to start above him. Like,
That's right.
If Spiller went like an 8th, 9th round,
right,
you potentially could have 3 other running backs or maybe 3 wide receivers, someone in the flex. But
exactly. So there were other options, hopefully, that you had if you didn't. And if you did start him, then you got your 13 points. So badass Carson Palmer, just outside of badass. He ended up 8th overall, but he was He was inside the top 10. So give me partial credit for that. He ended up with 18 fantasy points. Let's see. Barry Diamond, Emmanuel Sanders, bad call.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of that had to do with the fact that he wasn't playing with the with Big Ben the whole game. But you know, in fantasy football, you got to take what you get. Fact of the matter was, he ended up with 3 points. I think he had 2 catches for 30 yards and like 1 run for 4 yards. Clearly not a Barry Diamond. Should have just stayed buried.
Big Ben started out well last week too.
He did.
I actually said to start Big Ben over Manning last week, and I really think
if he had not,
I think it would have been a good call, but did not.
But there it is. Oh, actually, one little bonus comment: the boob. I mentioned Roddy White yapping, talking, you know, or maybe not talking because he knew nothing about New Orleans. I bet he knows something now. What you know about that? You know what I mean? So he did well. He did fine for you. But their team, you know, the Saints gave the Falcons their first loss of the season. So there you have it.
We could blame that on Roddy White.
We could.
I think we should.
I think we're gonna.
Roddy
White.
Boob.
Boob.